Dore,
Okay, take this and go sit
Shere
up.
Dore,
Is it recording?
followed by Mr. Stephen Lemon.
Hi, good afternoon. I'm here as well for the police brutality, of course, the shooting of this gentleman that was in the wheelchair. I want to share my own story real quick. February 9th of this year at 2:15 p.m., as some of you might know, I'm with Occupy Houston, and we were occupying that park there for a few months. This took place a couple of days before we were evicted from the park. However, I was threatened and harassed by HPD Officer Joe Fenwick, who was one of the officers who was posted on one of the corners of the park at that time. I was unfortunately alone this day when Fenwick approached me asking me why I was there at the campsite. With Mayor Parker's permission, she said that we can continue to stay there at that time, and I advised him of this. However, he told me, quote, "I don't give a damn what Mayor Parker says. You see this badge, and this says I can do what I want." And unfortunately, this is what we're faced with time and time again, where we have officers that feel that they are above the law. They can do whatever they want to do. They feel like that badge gives them all the freedom to harass, even threaten, because in this case, later on down the line, Officer Fenwick had threatened me and said that he can have me arrested and make me disappear just like that. I don't know exactly what that entailed. However, it was just very concerning, and when I went to HPD headquarters to file a complaint, I was basically told that Officer Fenwick was a very respected officer within the agency, and there wasn't much. It was going to be my word against his, so I was basically wasting my time. So all avenues that I tried to take care of this is not there, and this is it's very troubling for me. And then when I hear about this gentleman, you know, where this killing, and to me it was an execution that took place over the weekend. It goes back to my thinking of Officer Fenwick and that threat that he made to me 7 months ago. And I shouldn't have to live like this. Nobody should have to live like this. So I do want to call upon Council, Mayor Parker, to put it on the ballot for the Independent Civilian Review Board. And let us vote. Let us vote at this point moving forward, because nobody should warrant these kind of threats or even death. Thank you.
Amen.
Councilmember Rodriguez.
Thank you, Mayor. Mayor, thank you for coming down. I'm sorry to hear about your experience, but I just want to remind and reiterate people that were part of the Occupy movement that there could have been a tragedy there a few months back when we had a guy with an assault rifle come out and attack several people who were there. I was an HPD officer.
Occupy Houston had nothing to do with that.
I'm not saying that you did.
Okay.
This person was there to harm Occupy Houston, Pete, and he shot at several of the. Do you remember with the AK-40? I think he had an automatic weapon.
He didn't shoot at any occupiers, and I have no
He
idea
did shoot
what
in the direction of
this.
the man. I was out there, and
Okay.
so you did have an HPD officer that went out there, took action, and protected the citizenry and the people that were there. And so, not all officers are bad. You can't
I'm not
paint
saying
with a
that.
with a broad brushstroke. But I'm just saying that we also need to recognize the valor and the actions of some of these men and women.
Okay, that's not what this is about. This
Well, no, you were talking about one incident. All I'm just
one
saying
incident, and I was by myself.
Yeah, there's
as a
other
female.
incidents. There
We're
are
talking
other
about
incidents
criminals.
where HPD officers protect, and they do it on a daily basis.
We commend officers all the time. I commend officers for standing up and doing
That's all
their
I'm
job.
doing. I'm
That's
commending
fine,
an
but
officer
what you're
that's-
bringing up is irrelevant. A danger Officer Fenwick should have never
It's
threatened.
relevant to me, and so I'm going to reclaim my time. Thank you.
Okay.
If, in fact, that you tried to go down and file a complaint against an officer and were discouraged, I'd like to, if you could give me any indication of who you spoke to or how that went, I'd like to follow up.
Okay.
And for future reference, complaints are taken by NAACP and by LULAC as well, so you don't have to deal with the Houston Police Department.
Okay.
Thank you.
Mr. Stephen Williams is not present. Mrs. Princess Williams. Mrs. Williams is not present.